In this world of technology, things are ever changing, rearranging. You need someone to help you out. I know someone who can. Come and take a journey with me as we go through the land of technology. You'll never be alone. You'll be with Paul Amadeus Lane in the tech zone.
Welcome back to the Tech Zone, our third and final segment of the show. So happy to have you with me. We're going to switch our topic and talk about cybersecurity. There are some things out there that we have to make sure that we are protected when it comes to our data and our privacy. We know that this pandemic has brought to light the seriousness of a virus that can attack us and do harm and even death to us. But there are viruses out there when it comes to technology and what we use that can inflict some damage that it can take us years to recover from. And my next guest is going to tell us some things that we can do to protect ourselves. And I am so happy to have with me right now a great friend and cybersecurity expert, Alan. Alan, how are you, my friend?
Doing great, Paul, and it's an honor to be called your friend. I just want to say that I definitely have a lot of respect for what you do.
Hey, I really appreciate that, Alan, and appreciate all that you do for the tech community when it comes to cybersecurity and trying to keep us safe. You know, I remember when we met about a year and a half ago, and what really impressed me about you, Alan, is that whenever you talked about cybersecurity, you discussed it in a way that all of us can understand, because sometimes we can talk about things like cybersecurity, we can get too techie and too geeky, and people out there are not able to understand it, but you explain it in a way that really helps us out. And I really wanted to have you on the line to talk about something that happened with WhatsApp app and all these cybersecurity concerns that we have. So, Alan, what are some of the latest news when it comes to cybersecurity that we all should be aware of?
Well, one of the news that my company just talked about today is the latest privacy breach on what the last few weeks, articles about how if you're on Google incognito mode, Google tracks your incognito mode. That's supposed to be a very private mode. The latest was then before that, there was how people can go on groups, WhatsApp groups, and reverse engineer and figure out who's in a group. A lot of NGOs, non-government organizations, UN organizations, and charities use WhatsApp. They create groups. Now a hacker can go behind each group, not only identify who's behind the group, but also hack them. And a couple of days ago, there was a news that now you can Google phone numbers of people who use WhatsApp. That is a major flaw. It was on a website called the threatpost.com, I think. So that's very damaging to privacy and security. And these applications are being used by everyone. As a matter of fact, we're launching our own private talk messenger, which doesn't require a phone number. We had a whole press release on that, and it includes an email as well. So today, the breaches are touching the mass market. The traditional breaches for big enterprise, I think Electrolux, which is a huge appliance maker, had some compromise lately. We do put a lot of those on our Twitter account at GlobeXData. That's a free plug I'm putting out there, but we do inform people of what's happening. But what's shocking today with the social movements of Black Lives Matters, for example, you have millions and millions of people that are expressing their opinion on basically compromised applications for chat and email, and this could pose a threat to their civil liberties if somebody goes in and exploits and reads it and subpoenas the data and whatnot.
And I'm glad you brought that up, Alan, because we look at some of these formats and these platforms, and since we're not able to meet face to face in some settings, that we talk about confidential things, and we want confidential things to stay confidential. And it kind of brings to mind, like in religious settings where you have like leaders of religious organizations who have oversight over their flock, and they may
Yeah.
need to talk about some really not secretive, but really private things. And
Yeah.
they want to make sure that those private things stay between them and the ones that they're offering comfort to, just like you said with the movement and all these things. And Alon, what happened along the way? Did we not know that this was a problem, or because of what happened with COVID, we're now seeing that cybersecurity, we need to up our game when it comes to that? What happened? Or did ones who created these things really didn't care, or just didn't have the foresight to think about these things?
Well, there's, I'd say, three tabs to this file. So the first one will be right around 9/11, after 9/11, when the Patriot Act was created, which was, there's many opinions on that, but essentially it was basically to monitor data, subpoena data in case there's any kind of terror danger in the US. But the USA Patriot Act has been revised a few times. You have the Cybersecurity Act of 2015, and both Republicans and Democrat leaders have improved, meaning made it more invasive. It's not necessarily a political view, it's just a national policy. So with the Patriot Act, essentially anything that you write, read, or say, or do, if it's stored in a US data center or by a US company, even in a foreign country, essentially can be subpoenaed. So that's the first violation that starts, and the threat is, okay, if there's a threat to the nation, we have to see who is threatening it. That is a legitimate, let's say, opinion. The second part now is these large cloud providers, obviously such as Facebook. We've seen how many times Facebook was subpoenaed to Congress for violation of privacy, how the European Union is fining them billions of euro, both Facebook, Google, especially. They're basically intruding on people's privacy. These companies are throwing so-called free services such as WhatsApp or Gmail, essentially to collect data. They are big data collectors, which then later they use for commercial purpose and resell your data. That is a blatant invasion. And we've known that for some time, except that now, because there's a heated political debate over inequality and racial and many other things that were boiling underneath the surface that are now coming to the surface all over the world, actually, not just in the US. You have demonstrations in Europe and Canada and everywhere. Now you're looking at, if I'm going to talk about my opinion, can I use a service that's free? Can I use WhatsApp? Is my conversation going to be private? If it's not, will I be prosecuted because I had a different view than the prevailing, let's say, authoritarian view? So that's a whole other ballgame. And COVID-19 has opened Pandora's box, because we work from home and work from anywhere, and we are now using a lot of remote communication tool because we're not physically encountering each other as much. That entire data is just growing like exponentially, and of course is a prey of malicious hackers, but also people who want to snoop around, and also these cloud companies that want to exploit your data for commercial purpose.
And Alon, we talked about like the breaches with the WhatsApp app, and how real soon you guys are going to launch your platform when it comes to chat. Are there any other concerns out there when it comes to cybersecurity, especially during this time? Because we know some states are opening up, but a lot of companies are still allowing their employees to work from home. And what are some of the concerns out there when it comes to our data, keeping ourselves protected during this time that we should all be aware of?
Well, the first concern for remote from work, work from home, remote location work, whatever you want to call it, is that the connection that you use most likely is not a very encrypted connection. That's a start. You may work from home or from a Starbucks coffee shop, and whatever so-called secure connection they have is really hackable in 5 minutes. So the problem is that now we are exposing the corporate data mixed with the personal data to, at a rate that has never been done before. So I would recommend using proper tools, such as secure services, secure email, secure chat. Definitely not a WhatsApp. Or some people tell me, but I thought WhatsApp was secure. And let me explain that. There is some sort of encryption of some sort on most free applications, but it's like having a car. You will have, maybe, not to name any brand, you will have car A that's very cheap, that will have four wheels and make you run from A to B, and you'll have car B, the Rolls Royce or the Hummer or the Land Rover of the car, that will be a lot more solid and have more horsepower, and you'll probably be more safe. You're probably more safe in a Mercedes if you have an accident than a very cheap, badly made, cheaply made car that doesn't have all the security, and all of that. So it's the same with encryption. I use a car analogy always, because encryption, there's so many styles. The problem right now is that most of all of these applications that you use and you download require your phone number. I want to talk about that because the minute you put your phone number down on a phone and you use, whether it's free or not, a chat application or a service, namely WhatsApp, which was the article a couple of days ago was on WhatsApp, basically your identity is divulged. So if somebody can go to your device, they can also go to all your contact base, because these applications are very invasive. They go through all your contacts, and they can discover who else is using it, and they can compromise both you and all your contact. And even if you change your SIM card, when you use the same device, you're basically compromised. So you have to throw away your $1,000 phone, have a whole new phone, but meanwhile, the hacker knows what you do, which gym you go to, which bank you use, all of that. Having a phone number when you download an app is the worst thing to have. However, this is one of the ways that these big cloud companies make money. They make probably about $1,000 a month per user on the data alone. And we create new data every day, every minute, every month. I said it a year or two ago, data is bigger than oil in terms of the value in the world now. So it's very valuable, and we're giving our data away.
And that's one thing that I've really had to come to grips with for several years since I've been covering tech, is just the big market of selling data. I couldn't believe how much money is being made when it comes to selling our data. Now, if these companies want to break us off a little piece, like a 50% of that, maybe we'll be cool with it, but we still have to worry about malicious hackers getting in. But it's like, I don't know, Alon, it seems that we're starting to see a shift or a paradigm when it comes to just cybersecurity, and all of us are being more aware of the threats that it has. And what do you think has caused our movement towards being more aware and being more alert of what's happening?
I think the media, people like you, making people aware. First of all, people being hacked, and there's a complacency. I know, I'd say 7 out of 10 people I speak to have said they've had an intrusion or a hack on their WhatsApp or their phone, for example, or their email. I think what's happening now is you have two things. You have the media, you have news that's out. So obviously that information is out. Even you hear about Office 365 and G Suite. There was an article that the FBI is warning businesses not to have all their email in that, because it is costing billions of dollars a year to businesses with these compromises. So businesses are slowly learning, but the average person like you and I, we're just tired of being compromised. So depends on our activity. If I'm basically now in a social movement, for example, and I would like to have my chat and my emails to be confidential, and if there's an option, like a company like ours, for example, with our Private Talk Messenger, our Digital Safe or Custodia email, I'm probably going to buy, for the $5-10 it costs, buy a service like mine, knowing that all my conversations are private. So there is a time where you start to say, is my privacy worth $10 a month or not? And for businesses, they always say, well, how much is your data worth? And it's worth a lot of money. I think because there's so many hacks, and COVID-19 has started to explode that. Every day you have news, as you know, bad news. I think people are slowly shifting to that. They're tired of being used and exploited, when these big companies keep making billions of dollars a year on their privacy. And it's a violation of your privacy rights, not only in the US, but worldwide.
Wow. Wow. Alon, that's why I'm glad that we have our monthly chats about cybersecurity and some of the great things that you guys are doing over at Globex. Now, is there anything else out there, Alon, you want to let us know about so that we can just keep ourselves protected during this time?
Sure. Well, as you know, we offer one of the best products out there for security and privacy. It's not the cheapest, but we've decided that for your listeners, we're going to give you guys 60% discount, especially with what's happening today. People deserve to have, I'm going to coin, affordable privacy. So we have a landing page that we prepared for all your listeners with Digital Safe, which is a virtual vault where you can put all your file, synchronize your file. It comes with a password manager as well, and it has our custodian encrypted email. I want to say something about our email. When you use our email in a webmail form, you can send an email to anybody in the world, even if they have one of these compromised free services, and then they can reply back using our secure send method. It also eliminates email phishing and business email compromise. And it comes with Digital Safe. So we decided to offer you guys a massive discount because I think people should experience a little bit of privacy. On top of that, all our data is stored in Switzerland, so it's not, it's obeying the Swiss privacy laws, which are the strictest in the world. And in Switzerland, I should say that it has been ruled that a person's IP address is ruled as private property.
Wow.
So that's big.
It is.
That's big because you cannot violate a person's privacy. You cannot go intrude. We have some news sometime we're a publicly traded company in the US ticker SWISF, and we have some news release. Usually at the end of the news release, we mention that Swiss privacy law. Mm-hmm. It's very specific. So we offered you guys a 60% discount for under $20 a month. You can have 100 gig, put all your information in there, use the email, use the password manager. Highly recommended because you definitely need to change probably most of your password, and you need a private and secure email. And 100 gig, a lot. It's most than anybody can offer.
Wow, I love it. I love it, Alon. And I'll let my listeners, I want them to know, and the viewers.
It's digitalsafe.com/en/TechZone because It's an English page. If you go to the Spanish one, it'll be ES. So because we speak more than one language
there
in the
US. I appreciate
that.
Well, Alon, always great to catch up with you. Looking forward to catching up with you next month, getting our latest updates on cybersecurity and how important it is for us to stay abreast of things. Really appreciate it, my friend. And stay safe, man. Things are opening up, but people are not taking these precautions.
People are not taking precautions. They're unhappy. They should take precautions, not just physically. As we know now, you have viruses in the net, which there's no cure for it, except if you basically are using very specific services and products. So, distancing is not going to help you with a cyber attack, but using a proper product and solution will.
Absolutely. Always great catching up with you, my friend. You stay safe
Likewise.
And well. May your family continue to have safety during this time.
You too, and to all our listeners as well. Thanks, everyone.
Again, love talking to my man, Alon Guillai. He is one of the great minds when it comes to cybersecurity, and we thank him, too, for giving us the hookup when it comes to Swiss security, Swiss privacy, however you call it. We are so happy that he's extended a deep discount for us. So make sure you go and check it out. Remember, it's digitalsafe.com/en for English/TechZone. And I promise I'm going to create an easier landing page for everyone. I promise I'll have it for you next week. All right, take care, folks. And please remember, as we started the show, empathy. Empathy. Think about it. Think of ways that we can personally cultivate it, because we all need it, and we all need to display it. Take care, folks. Love y'all.
In this world of technology, things are ever changing, rearranging. You need someone to help you out. I know someone who can. Come and take a journey with me as we go through the land of technology. You'll never be alone. You'll be with Paul Amadeus laying in the tech zone.